The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, 5th Chapter, text number 34, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on the 21st of November, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
Evam Gomudokakachajaya Bhajan Tisthannasina Sayana Kakamrigo Charitas Vivati Adati Avamehati Sma. A character of a Bhuta without any connection with human bodily activities, Rsabhadeva remain lying down on the street, just like animals. We see so many cows and birds and crows. They do not care for anything of this material world, but eating, sleeping, mating, that is there. As in the human society, so amongst the lower animals, the same activities are there. There is no change. Vishaya khalu sarvatasya. Shastra says, Vishaya, the objects of sense enjoyment, sarvatasya, everywhere. There is no difference. Vishaya khalu sarvatasya. Oh, Vishaya, sometimes we say Vishayi. Vishayi generally they mean man having states to manage. But actually, Vishaya means this eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These things are there. So, he was careless. Never mind, although he was the emperor, but when he took the position of Avadhuta without any conception of body, he became like ordinary animals, exemplifying that so far the body is concerned, the activities of the body, there is no difference between the lower animals and the higher animals. Or, in other words, without spiritual conception of life, simply in the bodily conception of life, we are equal with the animals. Ahara nidra bhayam samannam etat pasubhinarana. Our real life is spiritual life, not this bodily conception of life. Narottam Das Thakur says that anyone who is above the bodily conception of life, he is liberated person. Samsar bandhan deha smriti nahi ja, samsar bandhan kaha tha. Deha smriti, I am this body, I am Indian, I am American, I am Brahman, I am Kshatriya. These are bodily conception of life. One who forgets this bodily conception of life, he is liberated. How we can forget bodily conception of life? It can be forgotten. Just like one big person, sometimes we have seen practically, we have of course heard, we have not seen, that Mr. Stalin, the great communist leader, he was to undergo a surgical operation of the intestine. So the physician, the doctor, surgeon, he wanted to give him anesthetic, chloroform. He refused. There is no need of. Let the operation go on. I shall see what is there within the belly. Strong-minded, yet even in material conception, he underwent this surgical operation without any chloroform. So, that is possible. If one is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, then he has no more bodily conception of life. That is not to be imitated. It is on the highest stage. It is possible to forget completely, and he is liberate. Dehasmriti nahi ja, sansar bandhan kahata. He is no more conditioned by the material nature. So, how it can be possible? It can be possible. I have given already one crude example. Similarly, why Mr. Stalin could tolerate without any trouble? Because he was leader, he was always absorbed in the thought of how he could advance the communist cause. This is the real reason. Similarly, if we take our cause very seriously, what is our cause? That is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our this Krishna consciousness movement means to serve Krishna. That is explained by Sri Rupa Goswami. Ihadasya harer dasi karmana manasa vacha nikileshopi avasthasu jivan mukta sauchati. If you become fully absorbed in the thought of serving Krishna, iha means complete absorption in the thought, how I shall serve Krishna. What is serving Krishna? That is explained by Krishna, that we can see from his practical behavior, acharan, not only his acharan, behavior, but later on his incarnation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's acharan, behavior. What is that? To spread Krishna consciousness. Krishna also came for the same purpose, to spread Krishna consciousness. Jaimam paramam guhyam madbhakti sovidhasati. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came for the same purpose, to spread Krishna consciousness. So if we follow their footsteps and be fully engaged in spreading Krishna consciousness, then immediately we become liberate. This is ihadasya harer dasi karmana manasa vacha. We act three ways: by our bodily activities, by the mind, and by words. So, if we engage our body, body means senses. What is this body? So long the hand is working, the eyes are working, the legs are working, all these different karma, gear, indriyas, they are working, then it is body. Otherwise, if the indriyas do not work, then it is dead matter. Indrani parara. So, this indriyas, so long the indriyas are working, That means my body is working, I am alive. Therefore, if we engage our indriyas in the service of Krishna, then this is not material activities. To engage the senses in the matter of serving Krishna, these are not material activities. These are all spiritual activities. The difference between the Mayavad philosophy and Vaishnava philosophy, that the Mayavad philosophy, they want to stop activities. They think stopping of all activities is perfection. Shunna. Shunnavad. Nirvishesha Shunnavad. Simply stop material. But what is the positive engagement? That they do not know. That is the difference. Positive engagement means serving Krishna. That positive engagement means acting means the employment of the senses. So when we employ our senses in the positive activities, that is liberation. That is liberation. It's like a diseased man and a healthy man. What is the difference? The difference is that a healthy man is engaged in healthy activities, and the diseased man is engaged in diseased activities. The diseased man is also lying down, and the healthy man is also lying down. There is vast of difference. The diseased man is also eating, and the healthy man is eating. There is vast difference. So, these activities, devotional activities, are not material activities. Material activities mean sense gratification, and spiritual activities means to carry out the orders of Krishna. This is the difference. Sarvapadhi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam. Nirmalam means purified. Senses must be there. We are living entities, there must be senses. There must be desires. That is not possible, because we are living entities. If our senses do not work, if we do not desire, then what is the difference between the stone and myself? The stone does not know, the stone does not act, the stone does not desire. So if I become like stone, then what is the benefit? No. The Nirvishesvadi, Shunnavadi, they want to make oneself like stone. That is not purity. They give up everything. Brahma, Sattva, Jagan, Mithya. That is not Mithya, but temporary. Anyway, they simply give up. But the real thing is to accept the positive life. That is Krishna consciousness, that is bhakti. Sarvapadhi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam rishikesha sevaram bhakti. So rishik means senses. Because I stop material activities, then does that mean my senses are also finished? No. Senses are there, that is purified senses. When I do not act for any material purpose, that means my sense activities are purified, and that is bhakti. That is bhakti. Anukullena Krishnanusinaram. This is a little different, not very great difference. People one has to learn. Adu Gudbhaswam Sadharma Prichya. Sadharma Prichya. To accept Guru means to give up all material desires and be ready to ask from Guru what shall I do? Just like Sanatana Goswami, when he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked this question, that by your grace, I am now released from my responsible activities. You are the minister from Nawab Hussain Shah. So he had many responsible activities, but he resigned from the post. And when he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked, now by your grace, I am now relieved from all material activities. Now kindly tell me, what shall I do? So doing, it is not stop. The Mahabharata philosophy means stop doing. Jagat mithya. There is no more activities. That cannot stay. That is artificial. Arucha kitchena parang padang tata patanti adha. If you give up this world as material, you have nothing to do, then you will fall down again. Patanti adha. This is the Shastra injunction. So, therefore our Goswamis, and it is the Shastra, that engage yourself in Krishna activities, otherwise you will fall down. Ihadasya haridasi karmanamanasamāca. So here is Rsabhadeva giving example. So far the body is concerned, it has nothing to do with the spiritual activities. The body is as good as that of the animals, the crows and the cows, birds, beasts. He is trying to say that. So far body is concerned, it is the same thing. But when you come to the spiritual form, this is negation or equation with the material body. But real activity, anukullena krishnānusilanam bhakti uttama. Simply be ready to work for Krishna. Sadharma prichya, as Sanatana Goswami exemplified. He came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tatya turnamase samandalapati sani. He was minister, his business was with the big man, Mandalapati. Tatya turnamase samandalapati sani sada tuchha. There is no meaning. No more dealing with them. Tuchhava bhutya dīnagane sakho karunaya kaupīnakanthāsuto. In order to give some benefit to the dīnagane, Gana means general public, to give them some benefit, that is Vaishnava life. Stop material activities and for the benefit of the mass of people, Dina, they are very Dina, very poor. Mahat Vicharanam Gihinam Dina Chetasa. Dina Chetasa. They are very, very people. Dina Chetasa. Gihina, those are Grihi. They are very Dina, very poor hearted. And they do not know anything except to maintain the family. Especially in this age, a person will be considered very expert if he can maintain his family. Dakham kutumma bharanam. The age is so fallen that if one can maintain one wife and a few children, he is Dakha Maharaj. Dakha Maharaj is called Dakha means he was very expert in begetting children and maintaining them. That is Dakha Maharaj. He was begetting children, many thousands, and Narada used to visit and make them sannyasis. That was Narada's business. So, Dakha and Kali, that is not very easy thing to beget many thousands of children and maintain them and get them married and their children, because this is the happiness of home life. Jana maithunadi grihamedi sukham tucham. This grihamedi's happiness is sexual intercourse. That's all. So he produces dozens of children by sexual intercourse, and when the children are grown up, educated, then for him also another arrangement for sex. Very pompously married. Now what is the purpose? The same sex. Therefore, Grihamedi Sukham is sex. I have enjoyed sex, I have got so many nice children, educated, now working, now living facility for sex. Then again grandchildren. So anyone who can maintain like this, himself, his children, with wife and eating, ahara nidra bhaya maithun, then he is far. And if he becomes a sannyasi, brahmachari, does not take part in these and stereotype activities, then he is useless, escaping. Now the word escape. They do not take the responsibility. But that is not the time. If one can maintain himself as brahmachari, he is escaping all the tribulations of this material world. Escaping certainly, but he is escaping all the tribulations of the material. So much botheration. Janmaithanadi grihamedi sukham mitucham kanduyanena karayu vivadukha dukkham. Kanduyanena karayu vivadukha dukkham. Misery after misery. So, kandukiva manasira visayeta dhira. Pitpanta neha kalpana bahudukha bhaya. So this dina chetasam mahat vichalanam. Those who are Mahatmas, they are wandering here and there, is to enlighten this poor-hearted grihi. Grihishu grihamedina. Apasyatamātmatattam grihishu grihamedina. Grihamedi, they have no interest in the spiritual advancement of life. They think that this is meant for the useless person who could not improve in this materialistic way of life. They have taken this dress as a token for maintaining their body and soul together. Useless person. They think that. Grihishu grihamedina, because they think this is our only interest. Grihishu grihamedina. Sotabhyadini rajendram niran santi sahasrasa. Those who are grihamedis, they have got many things to learn. Just like you see the newspaper, so many subject matter. You'll find different stock exchange report, this municipal report, and the advertisement, wine advertisement, and meat advertisement, with that beef eaters advertisement, cigarette advertisement, and cinema advertisement, restaurant advertisement. This is Nilam Santi Sahasra. Thousands and thousands subject matter you find. Here we don't have such newspaper in the Western country. Such a big bunch, at least 10 kilos weight. Is it not? Big. Sorry. Who will read? That's the subject matter. So, we have to seize these activities and we shall consider such activities are no better than the activities of the crows and the cows and the other animals are there. These activities have no value. and the crow or the hogs and the dogs that engage whole day activities, but these activities have no time. The human form of life are not meant for these activities. Their purpose is to make these activities as activities of the crows and cows and lower animals, only Krishna conscious activities, how to serve Krishna, that is bona fide. That is our life, real life. Thank you.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, 6th Chapter, text number 3, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on the 25th of November, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
तथा चोक्तम न कुज्यात करहिषि सख्यम मनसि जनवस्थिते जग विश्वम्भा चिराग चीनम तस्कंध्य तपोईश्वरम. So it is advised herewith तथा चोक्तम, although definitely from where it is quoted, it is not the sky, but it is heard by the parampara system. That is also authority. It is not necessarily to know where from it is quoted, but if it is current, it is also evident. So it is said, by parampara system, we can understand that do not make any friendship or compromise with mind. Do not do this. As I was saying yesterday, my Guru Maharaj used to say that when you get up, you beat your mind with shoes 100 times, and when you go to bed, you beat your mind with broomstick 100 times. Then there will be no compromise. If you simply beat your mind, that is required. This is the system. If you want to bring somebody under your control, then you must always chastise it. Otherwise, it is impossible. Chanakya Pandit, the moral instruction, he also says, Ladane bahavo dosha, sarane bahavo guna. If you pat your subordinate, then it will increase the faulty habits, bahavo dosha, and tarane bahavo guna. And if you chastise, then they will improve. Tasmat sisyancha chhatrancha tarayat natullarayat. Therefore it is advised, either your son or disciple, you should always chastise them. Never give them lenience. Little leniency immediately, so many faults will grow. Now, for our practical life, we are known all over the world as seven-headed. Is it not? Now we are becoming hair-headed. We are forgetting saving because there is little leniency. Immediately, faulty things are creeping in. So we should be known as seven-headed, not long-hair-headed. This is discrepancy. At least once in a month, it must be clearly seven-headed. On the bright hot night, on the day of Purnima, 4 days after Ekadasi, once in a month, bright fortnight, we must be saved. It is not desirable that in grown-up ages also you should be chastised. That is not desirable. That is also difficult. Because when the disciple or the son is grown up, he is chastised and he breaks. So before being chastised, we should be conscious that this is our rules and regulations, we must observe. Therefore it is advised by Chanakya Pandit, Prapti tu Sorusa Varsi Putra Mitravata Acharya. After 16th year of the disciple or the son, he should be treated as friend. Because if you chastise when he is grown up, then he will break up. That is also another risk. So our request is that instead of chastising with folded hands, I request you, don't become hippies again by growing here. Keep your head clean at least once in a month. That is my request. Neither I can chastise you, I am also old man, you are young man. So, here the same thing, na good job, or he treat Sakyam to the subordinate, you have never met compromise. We must keep always under control, of course. Similarly, our mind, the mind is the cause of our material existence, manodharma. Why we are in this material world? On account of this change of mind. Our position is Jive Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. We are eternal servant of Krishna. But sometimes the servant thinks, why shall I remain a servant? Let me become master. That is natural. My master is always in comfortable situation. Sometimes the servant becomes envious. Oh, why this man should always remain in comfortable position and we shall serve? Or why not we become also in comfortable position? Let me eat as he eats, let me sleep. These are so-called comfort. So they want to imitate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then it falls. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhagavancha kare, pasate mayatare japutiyata. As soon as he forgets his position, he wants to imitate. That is the beginning of Maya, fall down. It is very careful. Therefore, the brahmachari, we have to teach the brahmachari, brahmachari gurukule vasam danta, guru hitam. This is brahmachari. Not for his personal benefit, but guru hitam. Then he is brahmachari. Not that brahmachari has to become a very learned scholar in grammar and studium. These are secondary things. First thing, he has to learn how to control the senses, dhamma, how to control the mind, samadhamma. This is the beginning of Brahminical life. If you cannot control your mind, if you cannot control your senses, there is no question of becoming brahmachari. Brahmachari, brahma charati iti brahmachari. And brahmana means brahmajanati iti brahmana. These are the beginning. Brahmachari. Brahmachari means who is always in brahma activities. That is brahmachari. A brahmana means one who knows the supreme Brahma, Parabrahma. So if you understand Krishna, then immediately you are liberated. Parabrahma param Ram, pavitram paramam bhava. So, if you understand Krishna, then We are both brahmachari and brahmana, brahmagyan, brahmabhuto. These words are there in the Shastra. Tathata brahma jigyasa, therefore the real life is to inquire about Brahma, inquiring, when the conditioned soul, now it is jiva bhuta, so long we are conditioned by the material nature, prakriti kriyamanani guni karmani sarvas, bhumte prakriti guna, then we are jiva bhuta. Otherwise, when you come to our real position, that is Brahma Bhuta. So that Brahma Bhuta position can be attained if we strictly follow the rules and regulations of brahmachari or brahmana, then it is possible. Otherwise, it will be simply formality, practical life, Brahma Bhuta. And how do I know that he has become Brahma Bhuta? Prasannatma, no more moroseness, always jolly, in any condition of life. Not that for want of these, one is suffering. There is no want. That mentality, that attitude should be increased. And when it is fully increased, that is fully satisfied, Atmana. That is Kalatma. That like Dhruva Maharaj, he said, Samin Kitatosmi, I am fully satisfied. Naivad vidhi paradurattaya vaitadanyam tad vidyagayana maha amrite nimagram. Prahlad Maharaj said, now I am in the ocean of nectar. I have no suffering. This is Brahma. Yoga Indriya Sangyama, and the king, head of the Indriya is the mind. So, manasasthani indriyani prakritisthani kalsati. We are struggling in this material world, prakritisthani, bhukti prakriti guna. Because we are in this material world, there are three modes of material nature. Either of them controlling me, prakriti guna. Therefore you find three kinds of men. Practically we can see richer class, middle class, and a poorer class. That is always existing. I thought before going to your country, yes, I thought that the Americans, they are all rich. That's a fact. I don't say that you are poor, you are rich in comparison to India. But still, when I saw that there on the Bawari street so many drunkards are lying down on the footpath, then I thought, here is also third class. So either by drinking they're lying on footpath, or by becoming hippies, they're lying in the park and the police is kicking on their face. That means that three classes are always there. Either you go to America or hell or heaven. Because there are three gunas, Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, Prakriti guna. You cannot escape it. There is no question of becoming poor in the Western country. The government arrangement is so nice. Still, voluntarily, they will become poor. That is hippies. Because nature is working. Most of these hippies, they are coming from very respectable family, rich family. I have seen in Beverly Hills, when I was walking in the morning, I saw a nice boy, there is car, he is coming from a very nice house, but he is a hippie. I have seen it. Why he has become hippie? Prakriti guna. He might have taken his birth in a very rich family, respectable family, because the mode of nature is working. Voluntarily he has become hippie. This is going on all over the world. Therefore, we have to come to the platform of Satagun, Brahmana platform. Brahmana platform. One endeavor is gradually to come to the Brahmana platform, but if we take Bhakti Yoga, immediately we become the Brahmana platform. This is the plan. Kichit kivalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agham dhunanti krishnena nihara vivabhaskara. Bhaskara means sun. So, when there is mist, kuasa, as soon as there is sunrise, immediately, everything. Otherwise, it is very difficult to drive away the fog, the railway train. I have seen it also in the mid-ocean. Immediately there is fog and the ship immediately stops because there is danger of collision with other ship. And at least the ship in which I was going to your country, Jaladuta, the captain, Mr. Pandey, he immediately used to stop in the mid-ocean and giving horn, boom, boom. So, that was danger, very dangerous. When the sea is rough, there is no fog. And as soon as the sea is not rough, there is fog. So whether you go this way or that way, there is misery. Therefore, this world is called dukkhanam masasa. You subdue something, another problem is there. And you solve that problem, another problem. Problematic. Dukkhanam masasatam. Krishna is recommending that this is dukkhanam masasatam. How we will subside this dukkhanam masasatam. And our struggle is, Krishna says, this is dukkhanam masasatam. This place is for miseries. And these rascals are trying to adjust things. Bahirarthamanina. These rascals, they are trying to bring peace by material arrangement. Mura. Therefore they are mura. It is not possible. Krishna has made it suffering. How he can become happy here? But these rascals will not understand. Within the suffering, they will try to become happy. That is not possible. The toilet room, you want to make a DT room. How it is possible? That is not possible. So, this dukkhanam masasatam, and you have to practice tapasya. If you want to get out of it, tapodibham putrakajina suddheta sakta. We are now accustomed to this miserable condition of life. If you want actual happiness, then you have to undergo austerity, tapasya. Tapodibham putrakajina suddheta jasmat brahma saukhamana. You are hankering after happiness. That happiness, brahmasu, eternal happiness, you get by practicing tapasya. So don't believe, don't make fancy with your restless mind. This is the instruction. Don't make fancy. Simply beat the mind with shoes and broomstick. Otherwise cannot bring in control. Another alternative is kevalaya bhakta. So if you can engage your mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, then it is possible. Tavai mana Krishna padara. Then Krishna will control. Krishna means light. You are suffering in the darkness. Somehow or other, if you bring a light, there is no darkness. Krishna Sujya Sama Maya Hoy Andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Rubikar. If you keep always within your mind Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet, you can see Krishna's lotus feet, Diti, Baladev, Balaram, how he is nicely standing. You can see the nice lotus feet. Don't try to see the face all of a sudden. Try, practice to see the lotus feet, constant. Savai mana Krishna padara. This is a chance. This temple means to practice how to think of Krishna's lotus feet, Balaram's lotus feet, always. Manmana bhava manbhakta. Immediately you become bhakta. And as soon as you become a bhakta, kechit kevalaya bhaktya, vasudeva paraya, dandanti, agham Krishna, all kinds of disturbance will be subside. Dandanti, nihara vivahas. This is the Shastra injunction. So in this Kali Yuga, to control the mind, the yoga practice and this practice, it is all failure. It will never be possible. It was possible in the Sattva Yuga. Kite Jadhayato Vishnu. Now they are manufactured so many meditations. The real meditation is Dhayato Vishnu, the Vishnu form, 400 Vishnu form, and always try to see him. That is what these rascals have manufactured something, some light, some this, some that, yoga practice, sleeping. This is what happens. Jnanavastita tadgatena manasa pasyanti yogina. Yogi's meditation means to see Vishnu Murti. That is what. But they are impersonalities. Vishnu is Maya. Why shall I think of Vishnu? Let me see some light. What is a nonsense light? That is also Maya. There will be wrong there. Instead of seeing the light, if you see the Vishnu form, no. The light is good. Om is good. But when there is question of personal meditation, they protest. Therefore, tadvijnanatham sadhurmeva vigachet. In order to learn everything very clearly, he must have the shelter of a bona fide guru, Adu Gurvashram. If we want release from all this disturbance of the material world, then the first and foremost thing is Adu Gurvashram. Then तद्विद्धि तनिपातेन परिदर्शनेन सेवया उपदक्षन्ति तद्ज्ञानम ज्ञानिन तत्वदर्शिन. Guru means tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi, otherwise is useless, waste of time. One has seen the tattva. Vadanti tattva vidastavyam jajjnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti. Guru means one who knows what is Brahma, what is Paramatma, what is Bhagavan. Not partial. The Jnanis, the so-called Jnanis, they reach up to the Brahma, that's all. But that is not complete knowledge. The Yogis, they reach utmost Paramatma, and that is also not complete. Better than the Jnanis, but it is not complete. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti. When it comes to the platform to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that is Bhakti. That is Bhakti. Therefore Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesam madgata antarapana sadhyavan bhajate yoma samyuktamata. So if you want to be first class yogi, always think of Krishna in your mind. Do not make fancy that you have become very much advanced. Now my mind is controlled. It is not so easy, sir. Therefore it is what? Nakujya. Courage. Never trust your mind. Always distrust. At any moment the mind can drag you. And the example is given here. Chaskanda tapaisharam. Jag Vishambha Chirani Chinam Chaskanda tapaisharam. Even Lord Shiva, he is called Mahadev. Not only Dev, but Mahadev. He became captivated by seeing the young woman's incarnation, Mohini Murti. Became so much captivated, the description is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But as soon as the Mohini Murti demonstrated the features of the breast, immediately Lord Shiva became so mad that he forcibly went there and embraced, and there was discharge. Lord Shiva, and what to speak of us, what we are. Therefore, it is Lord Shiva is our life. But by their example, they're teaching us that a personality like me become victimized by this Maya's influence, what you are. Why you should trust and make friendship with your mind that I am now complete, artificial. Don't do that. Therefore it is one. Na kujya, karahichi. Never trust your mind, always try to control, and the easiest method recommended in the Shastra and confirmed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, eva kevalam, karuna sevana. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, 6th Chapter, text number 4, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on the 26th of November, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
Nittam dadadi kamasya chidyam tamanu vairaya yogina idamaitrasya protujariva pumsa. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything threadbare, discussed, very practical, and actually true. There are social, political, religious, everything is discussed very scientifically. So, here the example is given of the woman Pumschali. There are three kinds of women: Kamini, Sairendri, and Pumschali, according to Shastra. So, they become, because just like children, they are innocent, and if they are given freedom, they will spoil. Everyone knows it. If you don't give proper training to the children and allow him to do independently whatever he likes, that means that child is spoiled. Prapti to sodoso, they say. Chanaka Pandit has admired. Lavani bahubo dosa, savani bahubo guna. Tasmat uttanta sishyancha sarai natulare. This is required. And Tulsidas, he has also said, Tulsidas is a big poet in Hindi language. He has written the Ramcharitmanas. His opinion, not only his opinion, that is the Vedic opinion, that he says, Dhol Gawan, Sri Shudra, Pasu Shudra Nari, ये सब शासन के अधिकार. So this statement will not be very palatable to the Western girls. They want independence. In Chicago, when I was there, they talked about independence of the woman. They asked me a question. So I replied, no, women cannot be given independence. So there was a great agitation against me. In many papers, I was very much criticized. But actually it is a fact, because they are innocent, not so intelligent. These are all practical. We may avoid discussing, but Bhagavad is very open for discussing all subject matter. That is fact. We should not hide anything artificially. We must discuss fact. Not only here, they mention it is the Manusangita. Manusangita recommends women should not be given independence for their interest. They must be protected by father, husband and sons. Because if they are polluted, they become very dangerous. Chanakya Pandit says that Dushta Bhajya Satham Mitram Bhiktascha Uttaradaya Vasam Mrityu Evanadam Sangha. If the wife is not chaste and friend is cheater or Satham. Satham means duplicity. Not very sincere friend. Outwardly he is saying he is very good friend, but inwardly he has got some intention. Such friend, duplicity and unchaste wife, Dushta Bhajya Satham Mitram, and Bhiktascha Uttaradaya, and servant giving reply, and Sasaktena Grihe Vasa, and in your room, if there is a snake, of course, in this big concrete building, there is no question of snake, but in cottages, huts, made with mud, earth, there are sometimes snakes. So Chanakya Pandit said that if you live with a Dushta Bhajya and a duplicity friend and an answer-giving servant and a snake, then you are sure to die. Sometime you will be cheated. So these things are there. The purpose is that our mind is like that, pumstri, unchaste life. Not that everyone is unchaste. We have got many examples, the character of woman. It is not that. It is not generalized. But there is chance. If they are not controlled, not properly educated, there is chance of becoming pumstri. And there have been many instances that women, for being attracted by paramours, has killed in one's own son. There are cases. So, Bhishmadev also advised that the shyness of woman, Lajja, is the control. If you break that shyness, then there will be disaster. That is the control valve, naturally given. And woman's shyness is beauty. Beauty. We have got practical experience. And command also. We have practical experience in our life. You have seen that my friend Ken, Dinanath Mishra, they were our neighbor. So one day we were sitting on the corridor of the house, one sweeper woman, she wanted to come within, but very shyful, with covering of the head, although with broomstick and bucket, she was waiting. because we were sitting both sides. So she was feeling little shy not to enter the house. So we decided to move so that she may come. This example is given. She is a sweeper, not very respectable, but servant or sweeper. But on account of her shyness, we had to welcome. Yes, we are moving and coming. Just see. This is psychology. So therefore Bhishmadev, at his dying stage, he admired that woman's shyness is difficult to control. If that shyness is broken, then it will create disaster. This is psychology. Things are changing nowadays, everywhere, not only in India, in other countries also. But this is the psychology. So all these examples are given. Why? Just to control the mind. In Hindi, there is a proverb that money and wife, you should always keep in control. There are so many examples. So the real purpose is, we are not talking of the sociology or politics. The example is given that we should not give freedom to the mind. That is the real purpose. If you give freedom to the mind, then mind will create so many ideas. I have practically seen in our society, as soon as one is in charge, immediately invent something new. It should be broken, and it should be done. Then another man comes, he makes the same thing again. That is practical experience I got. Unless there is control over the mind, it will dictate something new. Do it like this. There was a Bengali poet, he also sang a song, "Ekta notun kichu koro," do something new. This is mind's business. He is not satisfied with the old things. Notun kichu koro. That's a very big song. Why? Change. The whole material world is like that. Ekta notun kichu koro. Do something new and be implicated. We are not satisfied with the old things. Old order changes. Yields to old order. There is an English proverb like that. Yielding to the new. But the Vedic civilization is that do not try to invent some order that will create disturbance. Be satisfied whatever you have got by nature's way. Be satisfied. Don't spoil your time. Save time for Krishna consciousness. That is the experience. That is the purpose of life. The valuable life. Bhaunam sambhavati. This life, human form of life we have got. Bhavu sambhavante. After many, many years in the evolutionary process. Jalajanam lakhani savarala pravinchati krimayu sankrata. We are coming one after another from the lowest low-grade life in the water, then plants, creepers, trees, then insects, then flies, in this way, then birds, then beasts. In this way, millions and millions years after, we have got this human form of life. Especially those who are civilized. There are 400,000 forms of human life also. not all the same. The uncivilized and civilized, the black and white, and so many different grades of man. They are different intelligence. In this way, one who has taken birth in India is the most fortunate. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Bharat bhumite manusya janma haiya ja. Janma sarthak kari karo karo karo. So, unfortunately, we are forgetting our culture. Otherwise, we have got a great mission, Indians, for the others, Parvaka, they require the information of this Vedic knowledge, and they are now getting, they are appreciating. Therefore there is movement against it, but it is actual civilization. The Vedic culture is actual civilization. Varnashram dharma, that is the beginning of civilization. Without Vedic culture and Varnashram dharma, it is the animal civilization. When Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from Ramananda Rai, what is the beginning of life? Sadha sadhana. What is the objective of the ultimate goal of life? And how that objective of life is attained? Sadha sadhana. Sadha means the objective, the aim, and sadhana means the process. Sadha sadhana. So, Ramananda Rai, he said, Varnashram. That is the beginning of life. Because Varnashram means the life is, human life is meant for understanding the supreme law. That is human life. The cats and dogs' life is not meant for understanding God. It is not possible either. They cannot understand. But the evolution is a process. When you come to the civilized form of life, especially the Vedic culture, there are many living entities. Out of them, some of them are chol and some of them are achol. Chol means moving. Just like tree is not moving, but it is life. But a small insect, it is moving. Sabar jangam, they are called in technical words. Sabar means standing in one place. And the vegetables, trees, plants are more condemned. They cannot move. They will have to stand up in a place for thousands of years. There is no possibility even to move. If there is storm, scorching heat, inching, cold, they cannot make it. They will have to suffer. So it is very condemned life to become tree and plant. But sour. Then jangam. The jangam means moving. So there are many varieties of moving animals. The insects, the birds, the beast, and then human form. Out of the human moving forms, the civilized form. Out of the civilized form, those who are in Vedic culture, out of the Vedic culture, many are addicted to the fruitive activities, ritualistic ceremony, how to go to the heavenly planet, how to become members of rich family. They are working very hard. Kurmi. So out of many millions of kurmis, one Gyani. Gyani means who understands what is the use of this. karma, creative actions. That out of many gyanis, one is mukta, liberated. And out of many millions of mukta, kotishavi mahamane, one is a bhakta. This is gradual development. So, we should be very careful. We have got this opportunity of understanding Krishna consciousness. We shall not waste a single moment without Krishna consciousness. Abbarthakalatvam, that is advised by Rupa Goswami. Every moment we shall count whether I have wasted it or utilized it. This is life. Thank you very much.